In the headlines, Nigerians celebrate Eid as Ramadan comes to an end. Court to hear suit against Edo APC governorship candidate on May 8th. Ban A electricity customers clamor for reversal to subsidized rate. On the foreign scene, Kenyan hospitals lay off 100 striking doctors. Compliments of the season and welcome to the news update on Trust TV. I'm Abdullahi Ahmed. Right, we begin in Lagos, where President Bola Tinubu on Wednesday morning observed the Eid al-Fitr prayers at Dodan Barracks Eid Prayer Ground in Obalende, Lagos. He was joined at the Eid ground by his family members, the Lagos State Deputy Governor Obafemi Hamzat, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, and a former Minister of Works, Babatunde Raji Fashola, among many other dignitaries. The president had on Sunday left the seat of power in Abuja for Lagos to celebrate this year's Eid al-Fitr festivities, signifying the completion of the one-month Ramadan fast. Earlier on Tuesday, the president has felicitated with the Muslim community over Eid al-Fitr celebrations, saying it is an auspicious occasion that signifies the end of Ramadan. The president, in a statement by his spokesperson Ajurin Gilali, greeted the Muslims across the country and indeed around the world while praying that their supplications and sacrifices this season and even after will receive the fitting rewards from Almighty Allah.
I released the message yesterday. You just want to repeat the kind of resilience, sacrifice, endurance that we have. We should preserve that for the country. Be kind and be cheerful giver. Love our country better than any other country. That's the only one that we have. And we must continue to protect the integrity of our government and leadership.
Well, let's head over to Jos, the Plateau State capital, and speak to Adu Musa, our correspondent, to get feelers from there about the festivities and how things are shaping up. Adu, Baraka da Sallah, and thank you very much for joining us on the news update. What can you tell us about the mood in Jos, the Plateau State capital, today?
Okay, Baraka da Sallah, Abdullahi. Today, at the moment, we can say that people have finished their prayers and virtually people have returned home. Those who are moving from one house to another have started because we could see women and children. They have started moving from one point to another. You'll be seeing a lot of them carrying food, which I believe that they're going to extend it to either their neighbors or their relatives. You could also see security personnel moving around to ensure heat-free celebration. Some of the security personnel, you could also see them at strategic places. You could also see others patrolling, all in an effort to ensure that the celebration is peaceful. So this is what we have at the moment. But the only problem which I observe is there is low-key celebration because, like I said it earlier, you can only see women and children, but you hardly see men on the road. This is probably because of the economic hardship. Because if I could recall, 2 days back, we had interviews with a lot of residents of Jos who now complain about how the economic hardship is going to affect the celebration. Unlike before, where on Salah Day or a day to Salah, you see people slaughtering animals along the street. You could also see a kind of congestion along the road. You could also see congestion in the market. But this year is different. A lot of things have changed. So at the moment, we can say that there is low-key celebration here in the city center of Jos.
Yeah, and Ado, what can you tell us about what the people are saying regarding this watered-down version of the Eid celebrations?
Well, a lot of them are attributing it to economic hardship, like I said it earlier, that people don't have money, so they see no reason to go beyond what they could do, so they have to just celebrate it in their own way. That is why a lot of people will tell you that they've not saw new clothes. What they could only do, they will use their clothes. That is the one that they usually used before, to at least go to the mosque, and then possibly when they come back, they end the celebration there. So they attribute the whole thing to the economic hardship. People don't have money, so they don't have to celebrate it the other way, different from their own way.
Right. And just briefly, because we know of the recent developments in Plateau State regarding security concerns, what can you tell us about areas that are tagged flashpoints for some of these volatile security situations where we've seen so many clashes in the past couple of weeks and months? What are you hearing from the ground around some of the celebrations there? Areas like Wasi, for instance, and in other parts like Mangu, Barikiladi, and others.
Well, before the D-Day, that is before today, the Commissioner of Police day before yesterday issued a statement saying that the command was aware of a plan by some criminals to use the festive period to disturb the peace currently being enjoyed in the state. And if you could also recall that there was also a letter written to the police commissioner day before yesterday, that is by the DSS, informing them about the security threat, particularly in Bokos, Barikiladi, and Mangu, which the Commissioner of Police confirmed that they will do everything to ensure that nothing happens in those areas. So I spoke to a lot of people in these communities, and they have confirmed to me to this moment that nothing has happened in these areas. So the people of these communities or these areas have celebrated, or rather have said their prayer peacefully so far.
Right, okay. Ado, we're going to have to leave it here for now. I hope your celebrations will not be the watered-down version of it, but thank you for the update.
Thank you very much for having me.
Okay. Ado Musa there giving us an update on the atmosphere in Plateau State with regards to the Eid celebrations. Away from the celebrations, the Federal High Court in Abuja has scheduled May 8th, 2024 for the hearing of the suit challenging the emergence of the governorship candidate on the platform of the All Progressives Congress in Edo State, Monday, Okwebolo. Now, the suit was filed by one of the aspirants who participated in the primary elections, Anamero Dekiri. Now, Dekiri is urging the court to overturn the declaration of Okwebelo's victory as the party's governorship candidate. Dekiri, a member of the House of Representatives representing Esako Federal Constituency, was one of the aspirants earlier declared the winner in the governorship primary election. Ojo Babatunde, representing all local government returning officers, had stated that Dekiri polled 25,384 votes to beat Dennis Idahosa, who polled 14,127 votes to come second. However, the chairman of the primary election committee and governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodinma, declared Idahosa the winner of the exercise, while returning the officer for the election, Stanley Ogbaoja, declared Okpebolo as the APC candidate. Right. Still talking politics, the Labour Party has issued a warning to the Nigeria Labour Congress on Tuesday, cautioning it against hijacking the political platform. It stated that the NLC lacked the authority to sack the Julius Abure-led National Working Committee. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary, Obiora Ifo, the party described the stakeholders meeting as, quote, an illegal assembly of a handful of aggrieved former members of the Labour Party, along with some social media tigers, in quote, who are not card-carrying members of the Labour Party. Ifo alleged that the political commission of the NLC is a front for Comrade Joe Ajero, which he has empowered for his political ambition in 2027. He maintains that the group is unrecognized by the Labour Party and therefore lacks the power to convene a meeting of stakeholders to deliberate and let alone make decisions that would bind a legally constituted party leadership. The party's response came after Monday's resolution taken by the NLC Political Commission at a stakeholders meeting in Abuja, and in the communique released after the gathering, the unionists voted the National Convention of the Labour Party that returned Abure and his National Working Committee to office. To address the vacuum, the stakeholders had announced plans to set up a transition committee to oversee the party's affairs until new officers are elected within 3 months. Operatives of the anti-kidnapping squad attached to the Imo State Police Command have cracked down on a notorious criminal terrorizing Imo State. Trust TV's Ajibade Praise has the latest on this development.
The suspect, identified as Chidebere Mose, is the lead driver of their deadly group. He confesses to have served as a driver whenever they are going for operation in any community in the state for over 2 years. In his confessional statement, a 38-year-old from Amozu community in Abombise local government of the state confirmed that he drove the gang the day they attacked and killed a police DPO and one inspector at the filling station in Mbise a few months ago.
For that our community, they carry boys.
Okay.
If your mama talk, your mama go die. If your papa talk, your papa go die.
Okay, what you wanna fight
brothers go die.
What you wanna fight for? What in the talks you wanna fight for?
Then just talk like that. See them Biafra. This one called Ebube. No degree. Even if say now your wife born, you want go see your wife. Ebube no go agree. As them jam you for road to carry you, they don't carry you. They no go allow you do anything again.
Luck ran out on the suspect as the police operatives stormed his hideout in Umuogo community on Monday, the 8th of April. Upon sighting the operatives, he opened fire in a bid to escape and evade arrest, but was overpowered by the superior firepower of the security agency. He confessed knowing Ishaka, Ebube, and other deadly leaders of the gang who were neutralized in December 2023.
Is Ishaka and Ebube.
Okay, for our camp, we are aware. Say when they do kidnapping, when they cash, collect people cars, when they do kidnapping. How do you keep them? How do you manage those people?
That person can. Where you carry go? Waiting, I see from my eye, be saying then they carry car, another people's car, and those we carry something for their body. If they carry those cars, those people when away they get the cars. You don't know how they do that. Because me here I sure say them they kill them. Because I don't feel like God did.
The Commissioner of Police Danjuma Aboki commended the operatives for their doggedness and ordered a detailed investigation into the matter to unravel the whereabouts of his other members. The CP further assured members of the public of the command's unwavering determination to ensure a peaceful and a safe Imo State for all residents. Ajibade Praise, Trust TV News, Owerri.
And in other news, residents and business owners in Port Harcourt, the River State capital, have expressed concern over the recent electricity price hike, calling for a reversal of fairer distribution of power supply. The increase, amounting to a substantial 240%, primarily affects users classified as Band A customers. Despite the Minister of Power, Adelabu Adebayo's defense, claiming that the hike applies only to those enjoying 20 hours of daily electricity supply, investigations have revealed discrepancies in actual supply versus billing. Within Port Harcourt's Elekahia housing estate, which has a blend of residential and business premises, there are discrepancies between the promised and the actual supply. Residents experiencing only 3 to 4 hours of daily power supply have expressed their frustrations at the inflated bills on their prepaid meters. Local business owners are highlighting the detrimental impact of high bills and irregular power supply on profits, echoing economic hardship among affected residents. While some residents lament the exacerbation of the economic challenges in the country, others have expressed their willingness to pay increased tariff if accompanied by the promised 20 hours of daily power supply. Elsewhere, the Boro State network of civil society organizations has threatened to embark on a protest if electricity in Maiduguri, the Boro State capital, is not restored. The civil organization, in a press briefing at the NUJ Center, also expressed shock over the recent increase in the price of electricity tariff by the Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission. It appealed to the federal government to reverse the tariff hike following the current situation of the state, which has been in total darkness for the past weeks and affecting businesses and livelihood. The Boro State Executive Director of the Network of Civil Society Organizations, Bulama Abiso, noted that it will engage with relevant stakeholders in an effort to find a solution.
Is anybody has the right to be in band A or B? It is the same people that will going to determine whether you are in band A or band B. Tomorrow you will be determined to be in band A or band B. So automatically that price actually is on you. So since it is not the prerogative of the masses to be in band A or band B, we look at it as even as a flaw for them to exploit the masses, particularly here in Boro State. So we are taking our advocacy to all our National Assembly members. We will take our advocacy to State House of Assembly. And if all our advocacies couldn't yield any result, we intend to also lead over 200 of our members in protest to all the concerns in that power supply sector.
You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Still to come. UNICEF calls for strategic policy implementation to address child poverty in northeast Nigeria. Details and more after the break. Join us again. Welcome back to the news. Let's take another look at our top stories. Nigerians have celebrated Eid as Ramadan comes to an end. A High Court in Abuja is set to hear the suit against Edo APC governorship candidate on May 8th. The Nigeria Center for Disease Control and Prevention says it has launched an inquiry into the cause of a strange disease in Sokoto State. According to the NCDC, it has deployed a national rapid response team to work with the State Ministry of Health to further investigate and respond to the disease outbreak, which has claimed 4 lives in Isa local government area, where a total of 164 suspected cases have been identified in 6 wards among children aged between 4 to 13 and some adults. Aisha Salihu tells us more.
Isa local government area of Sokoto State has witnessed a similar incident previously documented in 2023, also without a definitive diagnosis. This time around, since March 21, 2024, there has been reported cases of children presenting symptoms like abdominal distension due to the rapid onset of fluids in the abdomen, fever, vomiting, and weight loss. However, the NCDC says the disease may not be unconnected to activities like mining, agricultural practices, which involve the use of various types of chemicals and pesticides, as well as practices which may be detrimental to people's health in the affected communities.
They recorded those 4 deaths. Both of them were deaths from within the community, but the cases from the hospitals showed that perhaps again they had some renal complications of whatever might be causing it. So you understand me? So before you come to any conclusion, you must make a diagnosis, or else you can't be treating blindly. So as at now, we don't have any cause of death. We are now expanding our level of investigation now to cover other things. The delay actually from the laboratories in the Sokoto, because it took them a while to get back to us on the results of the testing for heavy metals. Is this one that just came out, I think yesterday or 2 days ago, that showed that there were high levels of lead and chromium in the sample sent. And that's why now they suggested, look, let's test for other things that might be contaminated with whatever it is. So as at now, there is no definitive diagnosis. Most of the cases that in the teaching hospital are being treated symptomatically, and like Riley said, 1 or 2 of them are responding to treatment.
While emphasizing the need for adequate awareness on the disease to ensure prevention, he said this is imperative despite the security challenges affecting access to the communities to search for more cases.
Level of awareness, yes, as it is now, because it's located in Sokoto State, it's specific to that area, and that's why again the state government again are actually increasing their public awareness to people in the state. But again, now one of the things we have to get information here, because there might be other states that have similar situations here which we don't know about. So it's on getting some of these things that we can now go out again and do a general publicity for the nation, especially those of them that have mining activities or use of pesticides. But when we get the correct culprit here, then it can give us an idea of how best to look at. But we can do a general thing right now based on what we have here now.
The NCDC is therefore urging healthcare workers, members of the affected and nearby communities to be vigilant and report anyone presenting similar symptoms to the nearest health facility. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The United Nations Children Fund says a significant number of children in northeast Nigeria are facing the menace of multidimensional poverty. UNICEF said this in a media dialogue recently. Trust TV's Adamu Imam in Bauchi reports that some of the children have resorted to seeking alternative means of livelihood at a young and vulnerable age. His report.
According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, extreme poverty rate is expected to increase in 2024, with an estimated 84 million Nigerians living below the poverty line. At a media dialogue recently in Gombe, UNICEF noted that the rising number of children living in poverty in the northeastern region has become a source of concern. Some of the children speak on the challenges they face while searching for their daily bread. Sometimes we don't have food during sahur. That's why we resolve not to participate in the fast. On the days we have food, we hardly get enough that will satisfy us. We are appealing to the government to help us. Even if we are sick, our supervisor does not take care of us until we recover naturally, or if our parents come around. We don't have access to Western education because we are not favored to be enrolled. We usually visit this refuge site on the outskirts of the town, especially on Tuesdays and Thursdays, every week to scout for items to sell and buy food to eat. With this, we buy soap to wash our clothes and save some for transportation when we are going back home after holidays. Social and security expert Abdullahi Yalwa urged stakeholders and the media create awareness on the danger created by multidimensional poverty.
About multidimensional poverty, we mean that people are attacked left, right, and center by issues related to poverty, which means that they will be lacking in access to proper education, they will be lacking in access to proper sanitation, they will be lacking in access to proper drinking water.
Yelwa noted that corruption and lack of parental care is an obstacle that needs urgent solution.
Those who need not to go there have brought their children and have hijacked the system of Tangaya. Instead of assisting the absolute poor, now it has become the school of the privileged who doesn't need to take their children to that place simply because of the advantage of the quality or the standard of the feeding and this. So now using their political connection to expunge those who the system was meant for.
Abdullah Mohammed is an orange vendor within the metropolis, he said child poverty is prevalent among many communities and calls for government action. Sometimes when I see these children here picking up food from dump site, I feel really discomfort to the extent that I even try to send them away. But I end up allowing them to eat so that they can get some relief inside their stomachs. Honestly, starvation is imminent here. Government should intervene quickly, please. UNICEF called for strategic policy shift by governments at all levels to improve the lives of children bedeviled by poverty in Nigeria. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
All right, let's take a look at developments on the international scene. A public hospital in Kenya's capital, Nairobi, has laid off 100 doctors who are taking part in the nationwide strike that has been ongoing for almost a month, according to the hospital management team on Tuesday. The Kenyatta University Referral Hospital said new doctors had been hired in place of those who are on strike. Doctors in Kenya went on nationwide strike in mid-March, demanding better pay and working conditions. President William Ruto on Sunday broke his silence over the strike, saying there was no money to pay the striking doctors. The doctors' union has remained adamant, and on Tuesday, hundreds of doctors took part in protests and presented a petition to the parliament urging lawmakers to intervene in the labor dispute. Well, that's it. You're up to date with the latest news stories at this hour. Do well to follow us across our social media platforms and also visit our website, trusttv.com, for the latest news and documentaries. My name is Abdullahi Ahmed. Thank you for watching.